Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of PlusUltra Reviews by the BrosWhoThink Network. It's where I, your host, Lynden Burton, reviews My Hero Academia, the manga. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. So, we're reviewing Chapter 222 this week, but like always, gotta do the intro and go over what happened in last week's chapter. Last week's chapter was jam-packed with a lot of good stuff. And first off, I gotta say, was it not dope to meet Gigantomachia, the bodyguard of All For One, the one that he hid from All Might? So this dude touched down on the League of Villains after, the League of Villains are going through some hard times. And the money's not right. Everything's not kosher over there. He touched down on him. He's like, Tomura Shigaraki, you're not worthy. You're not worthy to be the successor to All For One. He's fighting him. He's bashing him. Dabi's fire's not working. Nobody's moves are working. And then all of a sudden, you hear out of the little radio, boom, it's the doctor. He's like, Tomura, you trying to come through? What's up? What's popping? Come through. And so the little fudge monsters go in their mouths, teleport them to his lair. He gives them a fake name because he doesn't trust them off. He's like, I'm not giving y'all my real name. Like, y'all haven't done squat. And basically, we get insight into Tomura's past a little bit because I didn't know he had a father. And then we find out more and more stuff. We're going to find out more in this episode. I don't want to jump the gun. But basically, the last episode ends with the doctor saying, what have you done? You haven't done anything. We've given you this. You're the successor. You say all of these things. But what's your worth, Tomura? What's your worth? And then we find out what makes him a villain. What makes him, what's his cause? What's his purpose? For example, just got through reading watching One Piece. I'm all the way caught up, ladies and gentlemen. It took me forever. And we see in One Piece Doflamingo's purpose, why he is a villain. He hates humanity. He hates that his father took him away from the Celestial Dragons. He's doing whatever he can to have power and to make sure his family's okay, because if you're not in his family, he doesn't give a damn about you. That's his thing. We see Blackbeard. Blackbeard wants to just cause destruction. He wants to destroy the world government. Look at Naruto. Pain. Pain wanted to make the different leaf villages, not the different leaf villages, but the leaf village feel true pain for causing war amongst the nations. That's what makes villains. We find out what's their worth, what's their mantra, what do they want to accomplish chapter 222. We find that out about Tomura. I wanted to jump real quick before we get into the review because I didn't say this last week, and a lot of theories have been going around, and yes, I was aware of the fan theory when I posted the 221 review, but I didn't mention it because I felt it wasn't necessary, and let me explain. So the theory is that the doctor we see, do a procedure on Izuku when we find out Midoriya doesn't have any quirk powers. The people are believing that this same doctor is that doctor. So now, go back in your memory banks. Remember, in either chapter 1 or in episode 1, when you find out that Deku is quirkless, the doctor looks like him. Now, is that an art mistake? Is Horikoshi, did he just make a blunder? Or is that purposefully done? And we're going to find out that Deku's quirk got taken when he was younger. That's something we're going to have to jump. We're going to wait and see. I didn't want to jump the gun, but I will present the information to you guys and let you guys know that my thought is, that's possible, but I don't want to jump the gun because we've seen blunders in art like this before. And until we find out from the mangaka's mouth, I'm not gonna pay it any mind, but I will keep that in the memory banks for another time. But ladies and gentlemen, that's enough time talking about what happened last chapter. You can go watch the chapter 221 review. Let's get into this chapter 222's review. Let's get going now. So we see this chapter begins with Tomura explaining what his worth is, and when I say his worth, it's, I believe, his villain identity. What makes him hate this world? So we start off by seeing a hand, and it says, "Stop it, Tinko, no." And I believe that hand is of his father. He doesn't remember much about his life, but he remembers meeting his master and you. And the doctor says, "I'm aware." We find out that, look, something bad happened in his past. And it shows that flashback to where All For One first meets him. He tells him, yo, no one came to save you. How scared were you? The suffering you endured. You need to find a way to get through this hero world that put you in this. Why would they do that? Don't worry about that. I'm here now. He put it in that young kid's mind after he had this traumatic experience that he was there for him. All For One was the guy that would take care of Tomura Shigaraki. And we see Tomura say that, look, all I remember is my master holding me. Before then, I'd been an empty shell, completely hollow. That's something that we've never heard from Tomura Shigaraki before. He's opening up in ways that we haven't seen. It opening up so much that Spinner's like, Shigaraki. He's shocked. He's dumbfounded that this guy that he follows has this so much pain, so much angst, and so much anger. We see All For One give Tomura a place to stay. Tomura asks him, "What master will you teach me?" And then all of a sudden the doctor comes in, and the doctor's like, yo, this is what's the remains of your family. You have a rare quirk manifested with you that we've never seen before. You murdered your family with your own hands. And then Tomura just loses it. He's in pain. He's in anger and angst. He's just puking up everywhere. And they ask him, do you remember? And he says it came rushing back to him in fragments. And it hurts him so much that he did that to his family. And they're asking, the doctor goes to All For One, should I modify him? All For One says, no. Even without your memories, you still will have those feelings that will remain in your heart. That anger, that frustration. As your master, I will teach you how to give those feelings purpose. So Tomura says, when I have the whole family on me, I feel so sick that I want to vomit, but it's also peace. He has these fragment images in his mind. He can't get that lump out of his heart, and it hurts so much that this rage wants to burst out. He feels like he never feel good again. He goes on to even say, even so much as if the hero society crashes down, if he becomes the underworld's god, if he does all these things that he sets out to accomplish, his heart, that weight on his heart will never go away. That pain, that anger, that angst will never go away. That's why he hates everything. Every little thing in the world, everything that breathes, he wants to destroy it all. And the doctor is like, man, you might be the one. And he goes, will you lend me a hand, doctor? And he goes, I'll show you both heaven and hell. And the doctor's like, that's pretty impressive. You know what, Tomura? I'm going to help you out. So show me you mean it, and we going to make your dreams a reality. And then all of a sudden, and I thought this was funny, his teammates are like, yo, wait, you want to destroy everything? Even the things I love? And Tomura's like, no, my allies are the exception. You guys should get whatever you want in life. And I think that's big. The League of Villains, he views them each as a member to get what they want out of life. He will destroy everything that hurts to him, but as long as his allies get what they want, it's okay with him. And I think that's very interesting because he cares about the people around him, or it seems. We're going to find that out more later. But the doctor's like, Tomura goes, yo, were you testing me? And the doctor's like, yeah, you passed with tremendous colors. I just wanted to know how much you've grown. I wanted to see that you were the right one to be the successor, to give you the power. And he put together a great package of power. But he said, first, you guys will need to prove yourself. He's like, the Gigantomachia, he hasn't accepted you like I have. If you will get Gigantomachia to submit to you, I will give you everything that I have, and I will help you find your dream. And Tomura's like, all right, word. I'm about to whip his ass. Dobby goes in, and this is interesting. Dobby's like, bro, I'm not helping you with this. I'm trying to recruit people for our cause. Tomura's like, go do it. I'll be waiting for you, Dobby. And then the doctor's like, yo, Dobby, why don't you help me test out this Nomu, and we could do some cool stuff with this. So I'm assuming that, Dobby's going to be in touch with the doctor on his own as well. The doctor then gives them each earphones, to each member of the League of Villains, earphones to keep in touch with him. And then he sends them back on their way to Gigantomachia to prove his worthy. And I think it was so dope. When Tomura touched down, he goes, yo, it's the return of the future king. Giganta goes, a king must inspire dread, must be admired, must be strong. You're none of these things. And then we're going to see if you are. And boom, the chapter ends right there. It says now we're caught up with what was going on with the League of Villains. And now we see the CEO of Dinarak go, the League of Villains is doomed. So when the next chapter hits on April 7th, we're going to have a lot to discuss. But let's get into discussion on this chapter now. What an insane chapter. We get exactly what we want. We get the backstory of Tomura Shigaraki. We find out he kills his whole family, and that's those hands on his body. Those are them. We find out that every time he wears those hands, he wants to puke on the inside. His heart is weighing down by the pressure of the anger that he did. He can't remember. I believe that the memory was so traumatic that it fragmented in his mind, that after he killed his family, whatever happened with them, that's what triggered him and made him this way. It's interesting because you have to remember, All Might's master is his grandmother. How did this happen to this family? This family that was once led by a matriarch who was the symbol of peace, or whatever the symbol of peace was before All Might. Because let's not forget that All Might made this world into that. He made it that he was the symbol of peace, and when he was there, people wouldn't have to fear. So that's very interesting. What was his master like? What was her time like? And what made it so bad that Tomura Shigaraki became who he was? Did the father of Tomura losing his mother affect him? Or was that his wife's mother? That's something that I'm sure we're going to find out later down the line. Also, think it's very interesting. Dabi and the Doctor. The Doctor has very interesting things in Dabi. And I want to see if that ends up conflicting with Shigaraki down the line, because Dabi's recruiting his own people to bring to the League, of course. But I'm interested to see if Dabi will turn up and be his own man. That's something that we have to pay attention to. But I think it's interesting that the Doctor was testing him. He was like, yo, I want to know your worth. I want to know, you haven't proved anything to me. Why is this real? Like, why are you worthy of getting my master's power, getting everything we've worked for you, you piece of shit, you brat? Why do you deserve it? Why do you think that you're greater than what our master has done? And why does our master believe in you? And he just wanted that proven. And to see them go back to Gigantomachia in the fight, I'm very interested to see how this connects to Dinnerat and how it gets back to our heroes. Let's not forget, we haven't seen our heroes for a while now, so I wonder how this all ties in together. And I just gotta say, man, Hirokoshi, keep kicking butt. The mangaka of My Hero, we really, really appreciate it, because this is dope stuff. It's 3 different webs, and the League of Villains still has ties to this story. My questions going into My Hero after the big all-for-one showdown was, how do you keep the League of Villains interesting and entertaining? You know they have to still keep in conflict with the heroes, but the heroes can't take them down, and the villains can't take the heroes down, because you have to set up the ultimate match between Tomura and our boy Deku. So for that to happen, you have to see them grow as well as the heroes grow. It's going to be interesting to see these other villains come in conflict with the main villain and the hero. It's a very interesting dynamic brought to this anime that I think will make My Hero more different than the Naruto's, the One Pieces. And I'm very interested to see where this brings us. But that's all the time we have for Chapter 222's review. Be sure, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. And also, if you subscribe, the first 50 subscribers will be a part of a giveaway to get some Anime Talk merch, as well as get some t-shirts and some stickers from Anime Talk and the Bros Who Think Network. Thank you. And again, if you like this video, why not subscribe? Until next time, tune in to Bros Who Think Network for more amazing content. Peace.